Okay, so can we just create a temporary energetic cord between myself and whoever may be watching this video? I'm going to set the intention that this video is timeless, meaning that whenever someone comes across it, the messages that they need will be within the video. So I'm just going to start speaking, really. I've been called to do this at this time. Well, okay, so here's my story. I am an artist. I started looking into online fortune telling because it's something that has interested me for a long time. I grew up in a spiritually minded family. My father is a psychoanalyst, but he was part of a magical circle. He did a lot of psychic research. I have Native American Cherokee roots, as well as Bermudian ancestry and Italian, and obviously I'm British, based in the UK in London. I'm very interested in ritual, I'm very interested in psychoanalysis, I'm interested in Jung's take on synchronicity, I'm interested in archetype, the shadow. These are things we're going to talk about here. My family has links to the tarot. I've created my own tarot deck as an artist, which I'll be using on this channel. I worked as a professional tarot reader in the past. I'm 34. When I was like between 18 and 22, I was working as a professional tarot reader. So this is stuff that has interested me for a really long time. And in my artwork, I'm very interested in lines between reality and construct, and myself and other, and human interaction. So I was very interested in the online fortune telling world, and I started a project where I was getting psychic readings about one element of my life, my love life, and I was very intrigued by the online pick a card tarot reading genre, and particularly how constructed it was, but how we could still find our messages there, because if it resonates, then I guess it's for us, right? Amidst this research, which of course is based in a bit of skepticism, and skeptics are welcome to my channel. I've got to say though, if people are watching this and they know me as an artist, this is a serious channel. This isn't a performance, because I have done a performance channel investigating all of these things, but this is not performance. This is going to be for tarot, for spells, for rituals, to discuss all of these issues. I am on the twin flame journey. I discovered this when I was doing this research. But I'm not interested in being in union with that person. It's just triggered a massive awakening for me, and that's what I want to talk about here. Everyone is welcome, people on the twin flame journey, especially those that just want to concentrate on themselves and their gifts that have been triggered by this. There are plenty of channels that will tell you all about all sorts of other elements, and tell you that the person's coming back to you with hundreds of pick a card readings if that's where you're at. Nothing wrong with that. It was necessary. It's necessary. It's part of it. You then go within and discover other stuff for yourself. That's what I'm interested in here. So we are going to talk about all of that stuff too. So that's a little bit about me. I will tell some of my personal stories. I won't name names. This is not about anyone else. This is not about, I'll be discreet. But yeah, I was very cool to do this at this time. Part of my research into all of this psychic stuff led several psychics to tell me that I should be doing this as an actual career as well as my artwork. So I started up an Etsy store, and a lot of my Etsy clients, who I hopefully will be watching this because it's part of the reason I did it, know this part of my story. I don't hide this. I was psychic before. I always have been. We all can be. But psychics told me that I should do it, so I set up an Etsy business, and it's been very successful, and I love all my clients. And yes, I was sort of encouraged by other readers, some of who were very accurate, and I hope to get some of them on this channel, to doing this, all of this stuff. So tonight is a very powerful new moon in Virgo. I created a spell for this. You know, spells, by the way, the most important ingredient in a spell is your own intention. So if you use like a certain candle and not another candle, it's not the end of the world. They have power because we have belief in them. Thoughts become things. It's the same as law of attraction. Whatever you put your belief and faith in and think is going to happen, you will manifest. So that's how it works. So don't be worried if, you know, it's like delving into something that you think is, I don't know, like out of your realm. I mean, there are different types of magic, obviously, and I believe in it. But what I do on this channel is not going to be, it's not using will against anyone else, because I don't personally believe in that. I know the kinds of deals that have to be done in order for those things to work, and it's not something you really or I would want to get involved in. This is intentional magic that is sort of ritualized, and it draws on psychoanalysis, and it's about creating a space to feel, to release. Full moons are a great time to release, new moons are a great time to set intentions. So this is all about creating space, which is what tarot is very good for. So I'm going to light some sage. So this first video is really just about me. Who knows how many people will come across it. If you resonate with it, great. Please join this community. I hope that I can create a nice community for people who might be on their journey. Also, it's just about some free content for some of my amazing clients, because some of them have asked me to like mentor them. I don't have time to do individual mentoring because I am also an artist, and the business on Etsy is going well just with the readings. But this can be space where I can put out some free content that hopefully is useful and helpful to people. So that's a bit about me. Let's talk about the twin flame thing, because it's almost 2 years since I met mine. And I'm going to tell you the moments where I realised that's what it was. And often I've heard it said that people don't even know the term until they meet the person, and that's how it was with me. I hadn't heard of that term, but there had been several points in my life where I had felt like great sadness, or just there have been moments where I felt held by something. You could say the universe, whatever you believe in. And one of those moments was when I was, it must have been like 3 or 4 years ago. No, maybe 5 years ago. And I was in not a great relationship. I think if there's anything such as like a false twin, that's what it was. People say that you meet your false twin to prepare you for the real one. But it was kind of a very similar dynamic, but very unhealthy. Anyway, I was in Cornwall, a place in England, and I was doing an art talk, and I was having a terrible time with this sort of breakup, and I just got on a random fishing boat, and I didn't know where the boat was going to go, and I ended up in this sort of, not island, but this place you could only get via the boat that I'm aware of anyway. And as soon as I got off this boat, in fact, when I was on the boat, I was like, I'm just going to leave all my sadness over there, and I'm going to get up. I think I was in Devon, and then I went to Cornwall. Anyway, and when I get there, I'm going to feel different. And I could feel, as I was on the water, I could feel like me leaving. It's like the Six of Swords card. I wonder if I have a Six of Swords anywhere close by, but you guys probably know it's the person on the boat. They're going into calmer water. That's how it felt. When I got off on the beach, it wasn't summer or anything. It was like maybe this time of year, autumn. And I just felt a sense of being held, and I felt a sense of relief, and I felt a sense of, oh my God, there's someone there for me. There's someone out. I could feel this energy of just being held. Never felt anything like it, actually. And I just felt like, I think I cried on the beach, but happiness. And I saw little kids playing, and I just, it stayed with me. I didn't know the name of the place. I always think about it. I always want to go back there. So let's skip forward like 2 or 3 years, and I meet someone, and instantly there's this, before I even met him, while I was speaking to him, I just sensed something. And then when we met, there was the instant recognition that we all know about, that you get with soulmates and many people in your life. But it was very, very strong. Then there was a period of like a lot of stressful stuff. A year later or something, he was talking about this place in Cornwall, and I was like, oh, what place? He's like, oh, you'll never know, it's like this weird place. And then I looked on my phone, because I have this app where I can, like, it shows you all your photos on the location, and I just googled typed into it like Cornwall, and I got a picture of the boat, and I was like, is this the boat you get? And he was like, yeah, that's the place. And then when I knew the place, I typed in the place, and I was like showing him all the photos, and he was showing me photos, and he's like, this is the house I stay in every year. And I had a photo of that house. And this is not like I don't know other people who've been there. It's not like a trendy like place that everyone would go. And then in fact, before that, after we met, I googled our horoscopes, because I always do that, and it said that we'd had several past lives, and I remember crying because I was just like, I'm not ready for this. It scared me. But anyway, that kind of synchronicity, there have been a lot of those things. It took me a long time to realize that I'm perfectly fine with the fact that we may never be in union. I think it's a bit overrated, and like that's not what it's about. My psychic thing totally like expanded from that day forward though. So yeah, that's that like brief kind of thing about that. So it's important though to mention this, because I feel like there's just so many people putting out information about this, and people are so hung up on the idea of like this romantic union. I don't think it's about that. I have done like so many things to try, and I've been in the position where like I can't sleep at night, and I know something's going on in that person's life, but I can't contact them, and then I'll find out that I was correct and something was going on, or I'll suddenly start smoking and then I find out they've stopped smoking around that time, or whatever, like the psychic links and all of this stuff. And I know how hard it is, but honestly, I was told you couldn't ever cut cords, and several people tried with us, and they said that there was a cord in him from me, like right on the heart, they couldn't cut. Recently, stuff has happened where I just want him to be happy, I want me to be happy, and I really wanted that cord cut, and it was able to be done. And since then, I actually feel so free. I'm happy for him, I'm happy for me, and I just want to empower people, because I think it's very dangerous, because people will be meeting people that probably aren't their twin, but it's like so fashionable now that they're going to get sucked into some bad cycles. That's one. But this channel, I feel, is for people who know they've met their twin, but they've done all the work and they're still not in union. And I was speaking to a psychic friend about this. We're both the same. We've done all the work. We're actually helping other people. So it's nothing like that we need to do work on ourselves. It's just maybe we're not meant to be in union with them, or maybe we're here to give a different message, or like empower. I don't know, but I'm called to do it. So that's my story. But I have always been psychic. I had several friends die quite young. I've always been surrounded by ghosts. I'm not scared of that. But I do have to like energetically cleanse, because it's quite, if you have a lot of entities around. But anyway, so I'm clairaudient, clairsentient, multiple clairs. It doesn't really matter. I'm psychic. I'm going to help people develop that on this channel, hopefully. I'm just going to do whatever I'm called to do. There's no prescriptive thing that I'm going to do. But tonight, I want to do this spell that I made. It's an adaptation of a kind of other spell. I'm just getting the workings out so I can see them, because I don't know it off by heart. So this I was inspired to do. It's because today is a Thursday and it's a new moon, and Thursday is the day of the goddess of fortune, Lady Fortuna, And the new moon is all about this kind of, so it's like harnessing this energy. And I don't know why it just came through as like a good idea to do. So I don't know when you're going to come across this video or if anyone will, but if you do, you can do this spell any Thursday, and then you can keep the ash and bury it on a new moon. If you come across it tonight, do it tonight. You don't need many things to do it. If you don't have the right coloured candle or whatever, it doesn't matter, use whatever. Like I said, the most important thing is intention. So what you do is, where's my lighter? Right, you need a candle, any kind of candle. You need a piece of paper, any kind of piece of paper, and like a pen or a pencil, and that's it. Oh, and like a heat-proof dish. Please be careful, I don't want anyone to have a fire going on. Okay, so you need to, let's get this here. Okay, so you're going to light a candle and you're going to say, Lady Fortuna, bless this spell and my fortune as well. So this is a spell to bring fortune in all aspects of your life. I'll write in the thing below, the description box, the things you say. So, Lady Fortuna, bless this spell and my fortune as well. And then you take your hand, whichever hand, I'm right-handed, put it down on the piece of paper and draw around. It's kind of like Blue Peter. And then with scissors, you cut around that. So you end up with like a hand here. Hang on. Ooh, there we go. So you end up with a hand. And then on the hand, you're going to write root to crown. Like this. Can you see? There. Root to crown. Okay. And then you're going to say this incantation. All held, I would put your hand down on it actually, that's nice. All held in this palm, keep from harm. All hearing closed, let fortune choose. And then, and please do this very safely in a heat-proof dish, we're going to hold the hand over the flame, set fire to it and let it burn in the dish. I hope it does burn in the dish. Okay. So you're going to put your fingers in the fire and then you say, I send my wish forth in smoke. Like that. And just watch it burn. Could say the incantation again. All held in this palm, keep from harm. All hearing closed, let fortune choose. I send my wish forth in smoke. I send my wish forth in smoke. It's good, you can feel that energy and just watch it and set the intention that you're like protected, that you've got fortune coming to you. And just, yeah. I send my wish forth in smoke. It's nice. I can really feel that energy of that. Right, so then what you do is you just let that all cool off and the ash, kind of let it get to ash. It will burn slowly. I did it with like a card so it burns nice and slowly. You can, I don't know if you can see, you can kind of see the fingers still. Once that's like turned into ash, keep the ash if you haven't done it on the new moon. I'm doing it on the new moon, so I'm going to bury it tonight. Bury it into some soil. It could be a pot plant in your house, whatever. It could be in your garden. Try and do it under the new moon. So keep it until the next one. And as you're burying it, you say, this wish in ash by new moon bloom. So I'll write all of that below. But I just wanted to show you guys that. Because I will occasionally do these little rituals or spells as a way of kind of holding space here. So now I think, like, as a last thing, I'm going to do a tarot reading just for the collective. I'm not going to ask anything specific. It's a general reading, so whenever you come to it, it's meant for you. I'll use multiple decks, including the deck that I made, perhaps. And we'll just see if there's a message for the people who are watching this that wants to come through. I only take cards when they like come out of the pack like that, and I like using multiple decks so that, like, if there's a specific card that comes out of the deck a few times, we know that that's like an important message that wanted to come out. Let's see what these ones say. So, okay, can we have a message for this collective spirit for my new channel? Which I'm a little hesitant about, but I'm doing it, you know? Oh, that's nice. It's a nice message for me. Let's get one from here. I use all my favourite decks today. Message for the collective. Can we just have one, please? Sorry if you guys find the shuffling boring, but I don't like YouTube channels where they don't shuffle because I feel like it's totally constructive. That's just me. I mean, is there any message from this deck for us? And then this is my deck I made. It's alchemical take on the Major Arcana Tarot cards. So it's a little different, and it deals with like Jung and psychoanalysis and all sorts of things, shadow issues. Message for the collective, please. What do we need to know? What do we need to know? There we go. Interesting. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, so this is a nice card to begin. We've got the Two of Cups. So this is the card of soulmates, of friendships, of equal give and take, of emotions. We also have the Wheel of Fortune, so things taking a sudden kind of turn for the good, for the better, a sudden change and shift in energy, and the Three of Pentacles. So I do see that a message for someone listening, or if it resonates, you know, if it resonates, take it, and be honest with yourself. Don't just make something fit because it's like what you want to hear. If there is someone who's waiting for, I'm imagining quite a few people are, to be honest, who are watching this. If you're waiting for someone to come in and actually work with you in an equal give and take, you know, the Three of Pentacles is the card of equal give and take. It's the card of collaboration. It's a card of working together. It could be a sign that you could collaborate with this person, or you've met them at work or something like that, but there's this element of a collaboration. It could be that this is what this space is going to be. It's going to be a space where we can pool ideas, we can collaborate. Please suggest topics you'd like me to do. I want this to be like a nice community where you guys can be like, oh, could you do a reading about this? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, if it resonates with me. But it could be about that. It could be about this kind of group that we're creating. But I think it's also a message about, like, if you are waiting for some kind of, you know, maybe at the moment, it might be a message for me because I've just totally given up on that. But then I keep getting like very encouraging love readings. I'm like, what's going on there? But this is encouraging in terms of two people coming together, working together, and fate being there, and this being a fated connection, and the universe intervening and making this happen. We also have the one of, the ace of, what's it called? Wands. Or it's because in this deck it's called baston, because it's like in Italian, I think. The one of wands, the ace of wands. This is again a new beginning, a new passionate beginning, sexual energy. This is the energy of things manifesting and new creative ideas, new sexual energy. So I do see like this new beginning here. If you've been waiting for something and it's felt very uneven and like it's never going to happen, this is a similar message to a last general reading I did, but with a strong message that there needs to be a massive transformation. In fact, no, it wasn't the death card that came out, but it was similar. So this in my deck is all about the alchemical nigredo. It's about the rotting down of like all of these materials in the alchemical process, and from it this like beautiful rebirth coming. It's about the prima materia. It's about the shadow in terms of the Jungian take on the shadow, which is like all the elements of ourselves we don't want to own, that we are kind of afraid of owning up to within ourselves, doing the shadow work, working with the kind of darkest aspects of ourselves. Our biggest fears contain our biggest kind of transformations. And once you kind of acknowledge something within yourself, especially to do with patterns of behavior, that is how you first, like, it's a first step to changing that. And from that you can kind of free yourself. And there's definitely something here about a need to free yourself, because we have the 8 of Swords, which is in this deck, this is an opera deck. It's Madame Butterfly, and we all know the story. She's waiting around for Colonel Pilkington to come back to her, and in the end she kind of kills herself because she was pregnant with his child, and he comes back with his new lover. So this is really a message, and it's funny because this card really reminds me of my twin flame guy for a specific reason, which I'm not going to get into, but it's weird that it comes up in this reading. Anyway, it's really about like freeing yourself. And if you need to believe in something, I suggest that you start believing in yourself. The 8 of Swords is always about the woman. By the way, it's not gender specific, it's just energy, but the person being able to free themselves because they're not actually trapped. They just have this blindfold on. So it's about your thoughts imprisoning you, limiting beliefs, self-imposed imprisonment. And this is what I'm trying to do, and this is what I'm hoping this channel is for. It's like freeing yourself. And maybe once that happens, you have the thing, you know, this idea of union, this relationship, but it's not about that. It's not about that. But maybe the universe is, you know, going to respond to that. But please, like, I want this to be about us freeing ourselves. I'm like annoyed that the 2 of Cups is here. Let's see that as friendship and collaboration and this channel. The 9 of Swords also came out, which is really interesting because that's all about anxiety, sleepless nights. I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping, feeling other people's energy. A nice way to deal with that a good friend of mine who I'll try and get on the channel, who's a healer who I've been seeing for years and years, like over 15 years, she always says, like, if you're feeling energy, if you're an empath, you should sort of say to yourself, like, does this belong to me? And then if it gets lighter, that's not your energy. I pick up on a lot of other people's energy. I create temporary energetic cords all the time with clients. That's how I do the readings, but I have to make sure I sever the cords at the end of it. And if you've had a reading from me, you'll hear me do that in the meditation. That's how I get all the information. That's how I get the blueprint. That's how I get into the auric fields. But you got to protect yourself. If you're watching this channel, you're probably an empath. A lot of that anxiety you're feeling is not yours. So return to sender, healed with consciousness, you know. and don't take on that energy. So let's kind of start freeing ourselves. Let's start getting out of the anxiety. Let's start sleeping well, doing what we need to do, transforming ourselves, collaborating with friends on great projects. Let's like get the creativity flowing, and let's like welcome in this wheel of fortune, this change. Let's not resist change. It's good. We're all where we need to be right now. If we were meant to be with these people, I feel like we would be. And so what is the universe telling us? Like, what is this about? And I'm sure if you're like me, it brought up all sorts of your biggest fears and hopes, and it was like an amazing and eye-opening moment. And then what are you going to do with that? That's for you to do, you know. You've got to deal with your own stuff. So that's what I hope this is what we can do here. So yeah, that's my little kind of like, I don't know, it's like my little reading for this channel, I guess, and for anyone who it resonates with. And please feel free to try out the spell. All content on this is going to be totally free. I want to get it out there. I hate people who say they have this solution to stuff, but like, you've got to get into their program and blah 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 blah. It's like, no, if spirit wants you to say stuff, like, just say it, get it out. Obviously I have an Etsy and stuff as well, but like, this is just, you know, I'm like really busy. I'm just doing this because I feel really cool to do it. I should be actually editing loads of stuff tonight for another like art project, but I just needed to do it. So I don't know how often I'm going to do it. I'll do it when I'm called to do it. I'll definitely do some full moon release work, new moon intentions, random tarot. I love the I Ching. I think it's such a useful tool. And yeah, any other kind of stuff you guys want me to cover, I can talk about twin flame stuff, I can talk about soulmates, I can talk about all sorts of things. I'm big into astral travel and projection and all sorts of stuff like that too. So maybe we'll get into that, and I will try and get some friends on who I think resonate with me and who might have some great interesting stuff to say. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. Happy to take on board all sorts of suggestions, criticism, anything that's, you know, you feel like sharing. And yeah, thanks so much, and take care everyone. Sending lots of good energy, and I'm going to sever any kind of energetic bonds that we formed from this reading so that we can go about our day and have a good, positive, new beginning. Okay.